Hello. In this video, I want to talk about how astrology or the planets, how their energy can affect the weather patterns that we experience here on Earth. As above, so below. The planetary energies do affect us. The word for planets in Vedic astrology is graha, and that means that which grasps or holds. So yes, the planets do affect us, not only personally, but on a collective consciousness or also the world on that level as well. And when we look at the weather patterns, we're doing mundane astrology. And so that's what's indicated. They do affect the weather patterns if you understand what the planets and the signs mean. But just recently, Neptune moved from Aquarius, which is an air sign, into Pisces, which is a water sign. And Neptune represents water, represents liquids, storms, floods, typhoons, tsunamis, anything that have to do with water. Uranus is sudden, unexpected events. So that's going to represent earthquakes and accidents and things that happen, tornadoes, things that happen suddenly and unexpectedly. So those are definitely going to affect us, and especially when planets become in certain aspects to Neptune and Uranus, are you going to really see the effects regarding natural disasters involving water and sudden events, air, depending on where those planets are. And these outer planets now are slow moving, so they stay in the signs for a long period of time. So for a longer period of time, there's going to be the chance or an indication that these types of natural disasters can happen. So with Neptune being in Pisces, a water sign, since we're going to be seeing more floods and more hurricanes and issues with water, natural disasters regarding water, we are also going to see a change in sea levels because it's not ice, it's water. The other thing that happens is we can look at the variance in temperatures. And this can be indicated by Mars and actually Venus as well. So when Mars becomes close to the Earth, he heats things up, temperatures rise. And we saw some of this happening back a few months ago when Mars was doing his retrograde back and forth from Taurus to Gemini. He was closer to the Earth and things started getting warmer. And now, the other indicator, like I said, is Venus. Venus has been combust the sun from August 7th, and he will stay that way until August 21st. When Venus is combust the sun, this causes a rise in temperatures. It causes really high temperatures. So we have been experiencing high temperatures, record temperatures. And actually, they're not really record yet. There have been temperatures that have been hotter in past histories. The question is the Earth really heating up, causing more storms, more hurricanes, more natural disasters, or not? Now, these natural disasters and these hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes have been happening since the beginning of time. And there are people who will argue that they're getting ramped up because of global warming, and they're not getting, and then other people will say, if you look back at history, you will see that there's really not more of these events happening. The other thing that kind of makes them think that they're happening more than maybe they did in the past is that we now have social media and our news coverage has changed to where you can get it in instant action. And that's all you hear about when there is a natural disaster. So that can bring them more to the forefront, which can make them seem like they are happening more than they did in the past. And I remember back in the day, everybody was afraid that we were going to freeze to death. Instead of global warming, there was going to be global freezing. Needless to say, that did not happen. We did not all freeze to death, and I'm still here. Now it's shifted from freezing to death to we're going to be warming up quite a bit. And it's going to infect the planet, and we're all going to perish. This is a theory. Whether you believe it or not, it's not fact. There's not a whole lot of proof that shows that. It is a theory. And so one has to wonder why are people afraid of this? What's going on? Could this, so I beg the question, could this be another way of the people in power trying to control us? Uranus, the Great Awakener, is here, waking us up to the corruption and the control that's been going on around us. And before, people in power were able to do it, and we had no idea about it. But that's not happening anymore. We are becoming fully aware. Brene Brown, in her leadership book, said that one of the leadership skills, not the most evolved leadership skills, but one of the leadership skills was to scare everybody, because if you put fear in everybody, then you can control them. You can get them to do anything. And it is mostly used by politicians and people in power, or leaders. So is this another scare tactic, or is it real? That is the question you have to ask yourself, and that is what I challenge you to find out for yourself. We are learning that COVID was a lot of that. Yes, it was a disease or a virus that was devastating to a lot of people. But we have now found out that the way that the government wanted us to try to prevent it from spreading was exactly the wrong thing to do. And a lot of this is getting, all this information is getting uncovered. We should not have been shut down. We should not be wearing the mask. Now, I was in the healthcare industry for quite some time. I had an animal hospital. It wasn't human health, but it was animal hospital. But you still deal with diseases and viruses. And the mask, I knew the masks were never going to protect us from getting that virus. Because why? The virus is much smaller than the holes in the mask. So I just want to pose this question. Was it really a pandemic that was really, it wasn't the bubonic plague. It wasn't something like that. Yes, people did suffer from it. Yes, people did die. But I think that it was kind of coincidental that all this managed to happen right around election time. So were the masks really for our protection or for something else? That's the question. So I don't mean to get all political, but these are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves to get to the truth of what is really going on. Why? So that we can regain our power, so that we don't get swept away and let other people control us. So I don't know. Is it global warming, or is it another scare tactic? Follow the money and do your research and decide for yourself what it is. I'm only posing the question and pointing out to you that actually the planetary energies do in fact impact our weather cycles. So if you look at the big picture, what's really going on? So there you have it. Be sure to subscribe to my station so you don't miss, or my channel actually. I don't know why I keep calling it a station. Probably because I had a radio station one back in the day. Be sure you subscribe to my channel and click all notifications so that you never miss a video. And I'd love to hear your comments. I do respond to them, so be sure to comment if you are so moved to. And check me out at my website, www.michellebond007.com. And while you're there, sign up for my free newsletter, and you will get the predictions for your sign every month, as well as other news. And remember, it's free. Also, you can book an appointment there. If you would like to see the cards that you were dealt, that the universe dealt you at the time of your birth, and find ways to strategically play those cards, because the more strategically you play those cards, the more successful you will be. Again, that's michellebond007.com. Be courageous, be empowered, and I will see you next time.